Good morning everyone. So today I am going to get started already with my Spellbinders review tutorials of the craft kits for the month, the ones that I picked up this month, which is the small die, the large die, and the card kit. I did want to mention, I forgot because I didn't look at this, on the back side of the little Merry Member Appreciation flyer that came in my kit, it does have a 15% off coupon for your first purchase of the year for 2021. So that's really nice. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. And that would be the links, you know, for these items here, and then some other things that I normally keep there. But description box is right under here, under the title. There might be a little arrow you would click, or a triangle you click on, or show more, or just click on the title. Some people say when you do that. And you can go to the site that way if you would like to use those affiliate links to support the channel. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so you know, I was trying to read this as far as the Member Appreciation Month. I think everybody gets it. I don't think it matters if you're in a certain club or not. Which club you're in, you know. And basically they sent some adhesive gifts, so I already showed you guys that in the unboxing, but I got these two items. It says they may vary, so, you know, I don't know, but I got the Journey Dots, Small Dots, and I got the Easy Glide Runner, so that was really nice. And then again, the 15% off coupon on the back for your first purchase, and then you always get 10% off. It's just as soon as you log into your Spellbinders account, the 10% off is taken off if you're a member of any of the clubs. So that could be the $10, you know, stamp club, which is $10 a month, or this $15, you know, small die. And you can manage your club account there. I already have other videos every month. I should pretty much show you how I manage mine, so you can have some tips on how to use that online. Super easy. You can skip, you can cancel everything. Don't have to, you know, like call anybody, or it's really easy. You can call them, but you can also just manage it online. So today my plan is to use both the small and the large die. Because on the image here, on the back of the large one, they had the little small. I thought, okay, well, you know, since we have both, I have to review them both. I think it'd be fun to do that. So I'm going to do something similar, obviously different colors. I think I'm still going to make it look like a nighttime scene, though, like on the back of this, on the small die. So the small die is called Daydreaming, and the large one is Happy Together. Oh, not Happy Together. It's called Look Behind the Curtain. So I'm going to start off with this guy. I don't know how I want to work this, though. If I want to do the small pieces first, I just said I'm going to start with this, but I thought, no, actually I wanted to do the base of this one first. So I will have to put that together. I did bring some papers already out, so I have that going, but other than that, I haven't decided. So I think I am going to start with the large die, just to have all the pieces cut and have that set up, but we are going to have to dress this up with our little stuff from the small die. So that's maybe I'll just cut this base one and go back. We'll see. I'll try to make it as straightforward as I can. But the first thing you want to do is to trim your cardstock to 5 1/8 by 4 inches. And then we're going to put this strip here on that. So I'm going to cut down, I believe I was going to build it on this piece of paper. You see it's a scrap of paper. It's just craft cardstock. And I'll trim it down to the 5 1/4, I'm sorry, 5 1/8 by 4 inches, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just cut down the craft cardstock, just like it says, 5 1/8 by 4 inches. I'm gonna put this to the side for now, and hopefully I don't forget that I put everything right in front of my face. Okay, I'm gonna just put it off to the side, and then later I'll be like, where is that stuff? Okay. It does have some information here as far as the size of the dies and stuff, but that's not really neither here nor there. I do want to point out this has, you know, like a pretty, you know, okay, when you have your curtain, I am gonna use the valance, but like, if you want to make it look all cool guy, you have the swag things that can go under here, you know what I'm saying? Like this, or yeah, I would just use that way. You also have this guy that can go down on the side, like if it was pulled back, you know what I'm saying? So really cool. And there's lots of pieces that you can kind of play with that. We're going to use this main piece right here, and it says to die cut this 1/8 of an inch down from the top, as you can see. So it has a wider area and a little thin slot. The little thin slot, the wider piece goes down, is facing down, okay? Down here. And it says 1/8 of an inch from the top, so I'm going to eyeball that. About there, I suppose. Very small area there. And I'm going to tape this pretty well, even though I don't want to tear my paper, but I also don't want this to move. I am going to use my marquee, so I'll be able to see exactly where this is going, but, you know, we still want to put as much tape to help out as we can. And hopefully that's nice and straight. Not really. Hold on. Since this is going to be sliding back and forth, you pretty much want it to be really straight. And I'm going to use my marquee to die cut this. And I'm going to use a newer folder. I always like to do that whenever it's something where it's going to be a whole card front. Now, it does say to cover the back of this with fun foam, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not sure if I'm going to use craft foam or if I'm just going to use my foam roll, you know, like the tape I use for shakers, but we will see. All right, there's that little piece gets cut out, and then the other one just cuts a very thin piece. Wow. That is amazing. I'm just looking at how skinny this is. It basically pushed into there, but it also cut it. I don't know how, but it worked out. Okay, so there's that. There's our main piece. Now let me clear some stuff out, and I think I'm gonna put this back, and I'm gonna grab this stuff for the small die because we're gonna decorate this before we move on. Okay. So with this guy, you know, you can look on the back, and it's pretty easy to paper piece or to piece it back together. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple because we're doing 2 kits this time around instead of just focusing on the one like I normally do. I'm gonna use just this bottom piece. So what's interesting about this is that we're gonna need this to cut the little square pieces. I'll show you what I mean by that. So my window is gonna be this pearlescent beige color, so I'm just gonna stick this down. And I'm only going to work on the window right now. I'm not going to work on the little kitty cats yet until we're there. But I'm just going to do that. I'm going to trim this away. I'm going to run this through. And everything else, we kind of need it to pair up with the window. Okay, like this. I need it cut out from the window. And I also need to cut this out from some silver. So for right now, and I'll show you what that means. I'm going to cut this down, I'm going to run that through, and I'm also going to run this whole thing through on this silver paper, and I'll be right back. I just want to show you. The reason I'm running it through this silver completely is because we need these little squares from the silver. So we have our window. We're going to put this back on here. Oopsie. These guys in here. And see how it fills up the whole spot? That's basically what you need, right? And then on top of that, we're going to, that's going to be the little stars that shine through the next piece that I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to need those. And then I don't need the silver frame that's going to pop out of this, but if you want to use it for something else, of course, that'd be great. I guess you could even offset it if you wanted to, you know, do a drop shadow. But the other thing we need is this. And I'm going to do the blue. Let me show you real quick. So as you can see here, they cut it out in gold. I'm not using gold, I'm using silver because I want silver stars. So the silver is going to be peeking out, but this blue piece that's cut this way, they don't really say it here. You need the frame, and you need this guy. So for this other part, they did give you 2, obviously for the 2 different sides. But we're going to use this, and we're going to have to cut it out a few times. Now, if you want to do the same thing with like this tree, that'd be really cute, you know. This is for flowers, but you have a couple of different options there. We're going to need to stick this down together like this. As you can see, we're only going to do one at a time, but once it cuts out and that one is cut, then you can probably just splice it in on the rest of them. But what I'm trying to say is we're going to do this. Oh, no. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter if it's crooked or not because it's just the stars we're looking for. So if it moves, you know, who's to say, oh, those stars aren't, you know, straight. They're not going to be straight anyway. So let me trim this down and I'll show you what I mean. And we need 4 of these. So the first one, we definitely need the whole frame to help us trim that out. Hopefully mine doesn't move. I'll try to shape it, but so these other 3 blue pieces that we have left, we're going to need those. Unless you keep running it through, but then you're going to just waste paper, so you might as well just save these. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm going to do for the rest of them. And then we have this piece. So that piece goes over that piece that goes over that. Does that make sense? Okay? And that's how you fill in your window. Okay? So I'll be right back. What I'm going to do is just take this piece and make sure to clean it out. I know I'm super lazy at doing this. Oh, and all these little stars that pop out, you can use for something else. They're really cute. I suppose you can even make a shaker out of the window, which you know I would love to do, but I'm not going to do that today. But always try to pop these little things out because it just makes it easier. So the next one, I'm just going to grab my die piece and the piece that we just die cut. I'm going to tape it down. I'm going to run this through, okay? And I'll do the same thing for the other two. And they'll all have the little stars cut out. I'll be right back. So just using this as reference, I'm just trying to see about where I need to put my window. Obviously we're going to center it and then pop it down here somewhere. They put it right under that little movement area there, so hopefully that works. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this down. So we're going to decorate our card base here before we actually put it on a card base. So again, I'm just eyeing this, but you know, something like that. And then I'm gonna pop this in here. I did not cut out the moon or anything like that. There's lots you can do with this. Again, I'm keeping it kind of simple for the mechanism. And then we'll, you know, you can dress it up however you like. I just want to get this main thing down. Okay. Still deciding if I'm gonna use fun foam or how I'm gonna do this. And by I mean fun foam, I mean just craft foam, because that's what I have. I think Spellbinders had a thing called fun foam, and I don't know if it probably has adhesive on it or something, it seems like. So that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pop that on there. Do the same for all the panels, and I'll be right back. And the last one, of course, they all cut the same, so if you want to rotate them and turn them just so that they look a little different from one panel to the other, that's up to you. Oh, how cute would this be to make it a long window too? I'm not on this card, so it wouldn't work, but like a different card, make it a longer one like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do to finish this bottom part off is I'm going to go ahead and cut out this one right here. Just in the beige color, I think, that I used earlier for my window frame. So just the beige. And then I'm going to cut it out with a sentiment popped in it, and maybe wish upon a star. I'm going to put those two together. Again, tape it really well when I put it on my paper here. Probably put it over here so I can use that up and run that through, and I'll be right back. Okay. Ooh. Nice and delicate, but not super delicate, so that's nice. And I'm basically just going to glue this to this, and then I'm going to glue it down right here, okay? Still debating what I'm going to do as far as the foam. I think I am going to use craft foam because it's thinner, and I don't want to use a lot of my, my foam roll and then have it sit up so high, you know? So I think I will use foam. And I hope this glue right here will hold that together, because you want to use like a glue that will hold mixed media stuff. If you want to stick foam to paper and think any glue is going to do it, it's not. So again, if it falls apart, what I would do is just maybe use hot glue or something else and redo it, right? All you have to do is just stick it back down. But for right now, I'm going to cut out a piece of fun foam, just to have it ready. That'll fit in this area. So all I'll do is I'll get the numbers, what that might look like, and then I'll tell you what I cut it down to when I come back. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just stepped on something. I'm like, oh, so I went to look at my slipper, and it was that We Are Memory Keepers thing that popped out a long time ago. Can you imagine stepping on that without a slipper? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. Anyway, all right, back to our project. I literally just stepped on it and I was like, what's stuck on my shoe? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I cut this down. I cut it to 5 and roughly 3 inches. So 5 by like 3. And I kind of looked at it and it was like a little bit off. I might cut a little bit more off of it, but roughly 5 by 3. Okay. And this is about 5 by 3/8 of an inch. Okay. So just inside. We're going to use this to help us get a little bit of distance from our card base, okay? So I'm gonna put these to the side again. Hopefully I don't just lose them. And actually I'll put all this to the side because we don't need that quite yet, or right now. So the next thing we want to cut for the mechanism, basically the first thing we cut was just that base piece, right? Is all the extras basically, but we do want to work on this. So what's interesting, I was just looking at that, they're on the same color, same die. And you can do that. I'm just going to use the silver on this, so I don't really want to use that same silver paper for this part, even though it's not the biggest deal. I just feel like when you go to use this, this is the piece that actually works the mechanism that you're going to fold and do some fun stuff with. I want that to be super sturdy, which is the silver paper is very sturdy. But I also don't want it to crack and look horrible. I don't even think you see it, but at the same time, I'm just going to use this with some white Crafter's Companion mixed media, the stamping paper, because it's super thick, right? It's like 300 GSM. So I'm going to cut out 2 of these just because I want this piece right here to be white. So I'm going to cut out 2 of those. And then I'm going to run the same thing through the silver paper to get the finials or the curtain rod, right? So I need a couple of those. And then I'm going to again run it through twice to get the silver part of this. And I'll be right back. Okay, and because I'm chintzy, I lined it up so that just the little silver part would be on here, the part that I actually need being this. If that was a little extra, that's fine, but I lined it up. So this one scrap of paper got me both of my little finial rods. Or rods. Okay. So that's our basic stuff. The other things we want to cut, again, I mean, you have... Oh, there's the other one. All these tiebacks or pullbacks or however you want it to look, you know, on your card. I mean, we have lots of things. I'm doing the very basic. So I need this, and then I'm going to need 2 of this. And those are basically all the basic pieces, which is what I'm trying to do today. Sorry. Okay. And I did pick out some paper earlier, and hopefully in my mind I was like, oh, that would be cute. I was looking for like a small print, but then I saw this, I'm like, oh, I love the colors on this. And even though this has texture, so, you know, if you want to use like a plain paper, that's fine. I think I'm going to cut it from here, and I'm going to try to line it up as well as I can, you know, one here and one right next to it. And then I was going to use the same for the valance, but then I saw this paper, I thought that's really cute. So I'm going to cut the valance from this paper. So 2 from this big one, the curtain itself. And then this one, I'm just going to cut a valance from whichever section of the paper I think is cutest. I think I'll probably do it down here. Okay, and I'll be right back. We have all our pieces here. We don't need these quite yet. How cute is that? Little curtain. Okay, put that to the side. We basically need, not those, unless you want to use them still to make it sturdy or something. We need our main piece here. And I just want to make sure what I'm looking at. It looks like we are working from the right side, right? The side that's nice here. And these guys are going to go in here like this. Okay, so basically we're going to put this through here. Okay, hope you see that. Same thing on the other side. And maybe it's easier to do one at a time, but I'm putting them both for now. We're going to do that. And then we are going to... I just want to make sure I'm good on this. We're going to fold this one down. It does have score lines. Hopefully you can see those score lines there. So I'm going to go ahead and score it just to get that going. Okay, and it says to do this one first and then this tab over. Okay, I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll score it outside because it's easier that way. So you saw I had to do one way, one the other way. And I am very afraid of this. I'm going to use a wet glue. If you're afraid to use a wet glue because you think it's going to squeeze out or something, then just, you know, use a liner tape or glue tape runner. You do want something that's going to hold for a long time though, so I'm putting the smallest amount because I know this stuff is really good. It'll be just fine. And I'm going to hold that down, and I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to put this down and then glue this piece down. And I'll be back. Okay, well I'm sitting there holding this, and what you want to do is go ahead and give it a movement, right? You want to make sure it's free moving. Okay, before you really glue it down. And then, since I'm on this side anyway, we're going to take our little curtain rods. So hopefully this is clear for you guys, because in the images it's hard to tell what's the front and the back because of the color of the paper, but also that the front and the back look almost similar other than this long strip. You have these little bits back here. But, and I'm putting this in the very end, okay, after that tab piece that we made. So I'm going to hold that there, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, okay? and I'll be right back. Okay, and the next thing we're gonna do, which is in number 4. So basically step 3 was all that. Okay, step 3. Step 4, all we're gonna do is turn it over, and again is put that fun foam. And this is just gonna give you some lift off of your card base. So however you want to get that done, you know, that's up to you. If you just want to stack a few pieces of paper, a few pieces of cardstock, just glue them all together, you can do that. However you want to get this done is up to you, of course. I'm gonna put this down. And I'm gonna hope that this will hold. It should. This holds, what's that stuff called? Oh, you know, I said I was gonna trim a little bit off this morning. Oopsie. Felt, which is not something every glue will hold together, so it's good stuff. So I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna put it kind of away from the mechanism as far as I can get it, you know. Again, these are just about 5 by 3, a little shy. And then this piece here. And like I said, if it falls apart for some reason, I'll just glue it down with hot glue. And falls apart, what it means is basically it's gonna, this will come away from the front of your card. So it's not anything that's difficult to do. We'll just glue it back down. I think maybe I want to go ahead and, well, put this on my card base, I think. Yeah, that's the last bit on number 4. It says, and fix the card base. So, since I haven't chosen a card base yet, I think I'll just pick some white paper. So when I come back, I'll have a piece of white cardstock cut down to standard A2 size, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my standard A2 size 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and folded in half. And of course we're going to orient it this way. Just to make sure, okay. So basically on this one, this is what's going to get glued to your card base. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait for this to dry a little bit before we can really kind of mess with the card, because we don't want this to move away. And it takes a little while for white glues to dry. This one does dry very fast, but since we're using foam, it might take a little bit longer to dry. So again, I'm going to hold this down. This was pretty fast, guys, for a card. All we're going to do is pop on the valance and pop on these guys, and then we're done. Obviously, I'm going to decorate this with like a little cat. I just didn't want to do that quite yet. So I'm going to hold this down for a little while, and I'll be back. Okay, while I'm still sitting here holding this down, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my curtains on. And basically, you're just going to line them up. Again, this is where, you know, if you want to use the little swags or however you want to dress this up, that's up to you. I'm gonna put this on here, not too crazy, because I don't want it to move into the area where it shouldn't be, but I'm just gonna glue that down. And I kind of eyeballed where the center would be for both these to be pushed in together. So you see some glue came out right there. Scary. Okay, and a little bit on this side. And I'll manage the glue as I stay here. Again, a liner tape, you can just pop it down and then you don't have to worry about glue seeping out anywhere. So I'm going to hold all this down, and then we're going to put this valance on with a little bit of, I'm just going to use my roll adhesive, but it says fun foam. You can put another piece of fun foam on there, however you like. I'll be back. And before you really hold them down, I would like to, you know, I'm encouraging you to move it just to make sure you haven't glued anything down. This one is moves a little smoother than this one, so that's probably the way I glued it together at the beginning with the little tabs, you know. I might have done one a little more snug than the other. I do have some liner tape here. This one works, but then this one I have, and it's kind of wide, and I don't really like using this one as much. I think it came from a kit, an old kit. I always have to end up cutting it, so I think this is a good use for this one. Ooh, I'm gonna put it right up to the top. So again, just to give you some distance, some little space between the curtain and everything else. And then you have your little valance. That's so cute. I don't know if I pointed out the texture. So cute. Okay. I don't know where this is supposed to go. So I'm trying to eyeball this and not stick it down. Hold on. That's probably good. I'm just kind of lining it up to the top of the piece here. Oh my gosh, you guys. How cute is that? And then when your recipient opens it. Aww, and whatever your little messages will be here. So pretty cute, easy to do. I think, you know, I had to walk through and I had to kind of figure things out, so it took me a second longer, but hopefully that helped you guys out, because once you get yours, I think you'll be pretty, it'll be pretty easy to do. Again, this one, I should have done a little looser. How cute is that though? Oh my gosh. So what I'm going to do is probably cut down a little cat and just add him in there. And that's easy enough. It's just the same piece here, and then there's tails that go different ways, which is really adorable. And then I'll just piece him together and pop them on there. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that gave you some idea of how to use this. I think it's really effective, really cute for the time we spent on it. Look at that. All right, guys, links will be in the description box. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.